The Essential Directorship Masterclass, Achieving Excellence at Board Level. The QCA Corporate Governance Code. The Quoted Companies Alliance is the independent membership organisation that champions the interests of small to medium-sized quoted companies. There are around 1,250 small and mid-sized companies in the UK, representing 93% of all quoted companies. They employ approximately 3 million people, representing 11% of private sector employment in the UK, and they contribute over 26 billion in annual taxes. The QCA Code is designed to be a pragmatic and practical corporate governance tool which adopts a proportional, principle-based approach, enhancing the user's ability to explain their application of the principles and their corporate governance arrangements. The QCA Code is designed to be the means through which companies can earn and keep the confidence of shareholders and other stakeholders as they develop and mature. The pragmatic approach means that it can be adapted for use by privately owned companies who wish to adopt good governance practices to build trust with their stakeholders. It's particularly useful for companies that see an IPO as part of their future. The QCA Code takes key elements of good governance and applies them in a manner which is workable for the different needs of growing companies. The QCA Code does not refer to specific legal or regulatory requirements. It's constructed around 10 broad principles, accompanied by an explanation of what these principles entail under a parallel column headed Application and a set of disclosures. The Code states what is considered to be appropriate arrangements for growing companies and requires companies to provide an explanation about how they are meeting the principles through the prescribed disclosures. Where a company departs from the principles and their application, it should provide a well-reasoned explanation for doing so as part of its reporting on corporate governance. Boards must include clear, well-signposted disclosures in order to claim that the QCA Code has been adopted. The QCA Code publication has notes attached to it which indicate for each principle what disclosure should be made in the annual report and accounts, and what should be disclosed on the company's website, and I shall give you an explanation in the first couple of cases. So let's look at the 10 principles. The first group is about delivering growth. And the first principle is to establish a strategy and business model which promote long-term value for shareholders. Now let me give you an explanation. Next to this principle there is an application, and the application box says the board must be able to express a shared view of the company's purpose, business model and strategy. It should go beyond the simple description of products and corporate structures and set out how the company intends to deliver shareholder value in the medium to long term. It should demonstrate the delivery of long-term growth is underpinned by a clear set of values aimed at protecting the company from unnecessary risk and securing its long-term future. So that's an explanation, and if you want to know about these, then you must purchase the QCA Corporate Governance Code for yourself. Now also against Principle 1 is this note about annual report and accounts disclosure. So the annual report and accounts disclosure in this case should explain the company's business model and strategy, indicating key challenges in their execution and how those will be addressed. So let's look at Principle 2. Seek to understand and meet shareholder needs and expectations. Now in this case there is a note attached to it about the website disclosure that's required. And it says explain the ways in which the company seeks to engage with shareholders and how successful this has been. This should include information on those responsible for shareholder liaison or specification of the point of contact for such matters. So let's look at number 3, to take into account wider stakeholder and social responsibilities and their implications for long-term success. Number 4, embed effective risk management, considering both opportunities and threats throughout the organisation. Now, the next group focuses on maintaining a dynamic management framework. So Principle 5 is to maintain the board as a well-functioning, balanced team led by the chair. And number 6, ensure that between them, the directors have the necessary up-to-date experience, skills, and capabilities. And 7, evaluate board performance based on clear and relevant objectives, seeking continuous improvement. And Principle 8, promote a corporate culture that is based on ethical values and behaviours. And then Principle 9, maintain governance structures and processes that are fit for purpose and support good decision making by the board. And the final principle is about building trust. So Principle 10, communicate how the company is governed and is performing by maintaining a dialogue with shareholders and other relevant stakeholders. So in conclusion, do you know your corporate governance code? Do you have a copy of an appropriate national corporate governance code? Now in the UK, the one we've just been discussing, the QCA code, is one of 3 major codes that might be appropriate in your case. In other countries, different codes will apply. So have you read it carefully and marked up any significant paragraphs? And how confident are you that your company applies the principles of good corporate governance?